Yo, what is up, you guys? So, I really enjoyed this chapter of One Piece 837. Now, let's start off with the cover page. We see some of the Red Edge pirates looking at the Luffy's bounty poster. Now, we didn't get to see Shanks, which was disappointing, but since we're in versus 4 Emperors arc anyway, I'm assuming we're going to get to see him sooner rather than later, anyhow. It does go on to say one more important thing. Next to some ruins. Now, I don't know if that's coincidence, but maybe there are some. I don't want to be jumping too much into this, but perhaps near some poneglyphs. There are some ruins, and we know Jinbei managed to find one, so who knows? Anyway, let's get into this chapter. And basically, it's just most of the chapter is like Cracker giving Luffy a lot of problems, and now we come to find out that the Cracker's bounty is no joke and is holding merit, especially when some of the feats that he's able to pull off against Luffy is pretty damn impressive, to the point where even Luffy's like, the first thing he tries is gear third. That wasn't going to work, and he actually uses a Cracker as a shield, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I'm not too sure if he's using Haki on it or not, but that thing just withstood Luffy's blows even in gear third. So, Elephant Gun did nothing, and Luffy tries. I'm believing he goes second gear because he uses Heart Gatling. That did nothing, and the other part of the chapter is like Luffy, Nami, and Brule. And I have to say, one of the most epic parts of this arc so far was like Nami getting to shine. I knew she would, but I think there's more to it than that. Obviously, the whole bit with the Vivre card. Now, it starts off with Brule actually putting down. Luffy got blown the fuck back. If you notice that one of the sword tests on Haki, it pierces through Luffy. It sends him flying through the homies, and I wasn't sure because I did a lot of reaction, but when you take a second glance, he goes literally through all the homies, and it's becoming clear that he's getting out of control, because they're even saying, listen, they need to be kept in the seduction forest. Do not give them a way out. So it seems to be like that might be the Luffy might blow the forest to Kingdom Come, especially by the end, and I'll get into that in a minute. But the dialogue between Brule and Nami is like, you came here looking to take back your friends, to stop the wedding and to intervene with Big Mom. It wasn't going to work that way, and Nami once again realizes they seriously underestimated the Yonkou Big Mom. But the thing about it is, it seems to me like the subordinates are starting to underestimate the Straw Hats, because we know, despite the odds, and we've seen this time and time again, no matter what the power scaling, we saw it in Dressrosa, we saw it in his lobby. Yeah, Luffy doesn't give a shit. If it's for his Dark Command, he's going to go all out, and so is the rest of the Straw Hats, and I like it because Nami, despite a predicament, she actually still puts in the work. And granted, Pound did come in for the save, because Brule gets a hold of Nami. She's going to try and bring her in the mirror world. Pound comes in for the save, and then Nami does an epic Thunderbolt tempo. Just it takes her out. We come to find out she's able to reappear because with multiple mirrors. So that may be the way for Nami to destroy it, if she can, because I don't think physical attacks work on mirrors. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get rid of the mirrors so Brule can't reappear. But I mean, it was a pretty simple chapter in regards to not too much regression other than what we got at the end with Luffy. And once again, Cracker just putting down Luffy, saying, "Oh, you're trying to get in your way of your friend's happiness by not allowing him to go through this marriage," even though we know for a fact Sanji wants nothing to do with it, with this wedding. And even Luffy says at the end, there's no way Sanji would do that. I like it because that's what ticks him off, and he goes into gear 4. He doesn't give a shit about going out against Big Mom. He's trying to get to Sanji, and that's really the whole thing. It's not about whether he's matched up to Big Mom or not. I think there's a lot of debate, rightfully so, but I think the whole thing is to get to Sanji. It's not really to fight Big Mom, unless there's something else that Luffy has that can give Big Mom a run for money. By the way, it's her abilities that's going to give Luffy a problem, not a fighting abilities. That's something I think we need to get across, because she doesn't come across the fighting type. She comes across where she has the information and manipulation. And we also come to find out another important thing about the subordinates at Big Mom. Despite the power scaling, we come to find out there wasn't just 3 commanders, there was 4. One of them got taken out by a rogue, and this is why Brille points out, oh, the supernovas think the hot stuff. We know what happened to Hunter Kaido. A rogue, this was impressive, even for a rogue. Managed to take down one of the sweet commanders, but that was all he can do. So I guess we know that now where he got those bandages from. If you go back to before we got the introduction of Kaido, we saw a rogue with the bandages. I think now we know why. But that's still impressive, and I'd love to know what his bounty is. Did we get a reveal of what his bounty was? I can't remember. Anyway, the whole thing at the end with Luffy going to Gear 4, I knew that was going to happen. I said it last week, and I said it throughout the live reaction. It has to happen because Luffy has to get away from the Seduction Woods for the plot to move forward. Now, does he stand a chance in Gear 4? Probably, because if he doesn't, then how's he going to go up against Big Mom? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Plus, if he doesn't get past Cracker now, and we know what happens when Gear 4 runs out. Luffy runs out of hockey. That can't happen because unless Nami does something epic. I mean, she did something epic in this chapter, but I mean, if she can keep it up, then the story gets pushed back even further, which, unless we get a flashback of Sanji, that can't happen just yet. So, and we know that the brothers are coming in for a reunion down in a day. So, this has to be wrapped up sooner rather than later. I'm not saying that the Sweet Commander is going to be a scrub or anything, because what he did in this was pretty impressive. And in fact, Luffy did go on to say his defense was probably the strongest I've ever come across, and that would include Doflamingo, and we know how tough that was on Luffy. So, yeah, in terms of power scaling, it gave us some indication, but I think Luffy's got a way to go before. I'm not going to say he's going to take out Big Mom, but before he can actually go up against Big Mom. Now, something may happen to piss him off to the point where, because remember, he was outclassed by Rob Lucci, but Luffy still went on. He managed to get past Lucci due to stamina alone. So, you know, just because you have the power doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a fight. And if Luffy can hang with Big Mom, that'd be something to see. And I hope it does. I got a prediction. It's not just going to be Luffy going up against Big Mom. Maybe Sanji and Luffy might team up. That'd be epic. I will say that. Because it's going to be interesting to see who manages to get the cuffs to Sanji, because that's going to happen soon as well. But yeah, I thought this was probably one of the, if not the best chapter we've got since the Whole Cake Island arc started. You know, we got Gear 4, Luffy at the end of the chapter. We got Nami doing something epic, which I knew she would do. It's great that Oda's giving Nami a chance to shine. I hope this keeps up. So that's just my thoughts. Let me know yours down below. Like this video if you did appreciate that. Comment, subscribe. Catch you guys more One Piece.